Hello dears, happy Wednesday. Not to be confused with Herpy Wednesday, which would be really quite itchy, I would imagine, and probably more pussy. I don't know. I really don't know. Welcome to Annoyed Gamer. It's a wet and windy and cold, miserable day in Santa Monica. It's pissing down with rain here, as we like to say us Brits, and it means that every person in Southern California forgot how to drive, which is why it took me 2.25 hours to get in this morning. 26 miles. Ah, fantastic. Anyway, let's crack on. I've got two topics for you today. Topic number one, Devil May Cry, DMC, if you want to call it that. And this is the new Devil May Cry. And obviously this has been the source of much discussion and debate and white wig pulling and teeth gnashing and so on and so forth. No, I'm actually not going to rag too much on the old school fanboys who like the original series. I mean, I understand your pain. Capcom have done something that you really don't like. I mean, they changed it up, they've rebooted it, they've altered Dante, they've taken away the white hair, they've perhaps made it a little more modern, a little edgier, and you know, you don't really want that out of your Devil May Cry. You want the, 3 million hit combos and the old sort of like foppish anime style, if you will. And I get that, and I understand you're pissed, and it can suck. I mean, I've been a fan of games that have changed up over the years for the worse, in my opinion. However, there are some aspects of this, oh, we don't like it, malarkey, that's getting on my tits. The ass clown in Virginia who decided to post a petition on the White House website saying that President Obama should pull this from circulation and it shouldn't be on sale because it's a betrayal. Now, I hope this is parody. I hope somebody decided, oh, I'm going to poke some fun at all the fanboys who were freaking out, and I'm going to put this up as some form of satire. If it was parody, well, you could have made it a little more satirical just to make it obvious. If it wasn't parody and you actually genuinely meant it, Sunshine, you need to get a fucking life. Not only you, but the 66 other people who signed the petition. The other thing I want to talk about is the reaction on Metacritic. The user scores on Metacritic for Devil May Cry have been so low for months before the game came out, down in the absolute doldrums. It's ridiculous. It's a good game. All that's happened is a bunch of, again, people with too much time on their hands, time they could be, using to perhaps learn to code, learn to do some art design, learn to go off and get a job that involves doing the game of their dreams, just basically come to this site and click it down. Now, I have an issue with the Metacritic and any site now that gives the user reviews because they are so easy to fuck around with, it's not even funny. They did the same thing with Call of Duty Black Ops 2, and this may surprise you, but I kind of like Black Ops 2. I thought it was one of the best ones of the recent barrage. I understand you're pissed. I mean, luckily you do have Bayonetta 2 coming out at some point on the Wii U. That's being done, which is probably going to be more similar to the old school Devil May Cry. It looks like Capcom is moving away from that, old school version, and they're behind this reboot, which I personally liked and I found more enjoyable and easier to get into than the older games. I'm all for questioning and complaining and all that sort of stuff, but just be more judicious in the way you use your time. If you're gonna have a dialogue with somebody, open a dialogue up with the developer and the publisher. Not go off all stupid at tangents. That's my job. Okay, next topic. Kaz Hirai, head honcho of Sony. Kaz, now he's a good guy. I mean, he's trying to whip Sony into shape because let's face it, to say they're disorganized is an understatement. With Sony, it's one step forward, 3 miles back. Now, he is out there and he was asked about the PS4, and I'm paraphrasing here, but basically what he said was they're not going to talk about the PS4 until Microsoft have come out with their announcement for Xbox 720. Wow, let me put my PR hat on. Whoop, PR hat on. I look douchier already, don't I? My PR hat says, oh my God, what the hell were you thinking? I know you're the head of one of the biggest electronic companies in the world now, but for crying out loud, really? We're 6 to 8 months away from these new consoles hitting. You really think that Microsoft are sitting there saying, oh, let's let Sony announce first so we can see what they're doing with their technology and change 720 accordingly? For fuck's sake, man, grow up. You're smarter than that. You know what? You guys screwed up the PS3 launch. I mean, the fact that the PS3 is still successful and is one of the best consoles out there and has a great software base is honestly nothing to do with Sony's initial strategy. I was working at Vivendi when the PS3 was heading for its European and US launch, and we were trying to get FIRA on the system. So we got the debugs through from Japan, which was fantastic. They came with manuals, yay big, I kid you not. These things were so thick, and they were all in Japanese. And when we asked Sony, do they have translations? They said, no, you translate them yourself. Oh, thanks for that, Sony. But really, You have this opportunity to be confident, to be bold, not to be too cocky, not to stick your head up your own ass with your own hubris, because that's got you in the shit in the past. Get out before Microsoft announces. Steal some of their thunder. I mean, Nintendo did it. You know, the Wii U is picking up sales. It's not a bad little console. There, I said it. It's got potential. But for crying out loud, really going to say I'm not going to do anything because Microsoft may copy my homework? What are we in? Fucking 3rd grade here? Kaz, I'm calling you an 8-year-old. And you know what? Your PR people, whoever let you sanction this, you know, they're there for a reason. They're there to publicize you and publicize the company. They're also there to protect you so that when you open your mouth, your brain is engaged. You're smarter than that. Get back on track. Get the PS4 announcement out because I want to hear about it. I want to see the cool games that you've got coming. And I don't want to sleep through another fucking Sony press conference at E3. Oh, and finally, one last tip. If you are going to implement this used games technology that basically locks your game to a certain console or account or whatever, be very, very careful how you implement that. And I really hope you include some backwards compatibility or streaming, whatever, for the old PS3 games, because I've got a bunch of them I know won't work on the PS4 because you've changed the architecture. So don't fuck that up as well. We want a good PS4 launch. I want a bloody good PS4 launch. So get on it and stop making stupid comments. Leave that to people like me. All right, that's the show for this week. As always, you can follow me on Twitter and you can post to the GameTrailers forums. I'm still on bonus round, I think, for the next couple of weeks. By the way, to the person who asked last week and to all the people who asked, why do I wave my hands? I do because I've got nowhere else to put them. I can't put them in my pockets, I can't touch myself in a sexual manner, and I can't smoke and drink while I'm doing the show. They have all these regulations. So I wave my hands around. It's either that or I'm just gonna go like this, you see? You know, I'm full of energy. Not caffeine though. I've been off sodas for a month. Aren't I a good boy? All right, I'll see you next week, probably, unless they take me out the back and hit me over the head with a shovel. Laters.
See this and other GT shows and game reviews on the GT Originals iOS app, available now on the App Store.